Okay, y'all. Good morning. Good morning. It's Tuesday morning. I'm pretty much caught up on all the lawns. I got this one out in Fairburn that I do, uh, and she owes me from the last time. So it'll be $320 that I'll check I'll pick up today. And some running around I have to do. I got one job I'm going to look at. Probably on the way out there, man. I don't know. It's going to how I feel once I get to rolling. So a couple things. I appreciate the views on the videos. So I put the third cutter head that I have on Facebook Marketplace, and I'm putting it on there for $6,800. And I'm getting a lot of bites, and I'm fielding the people too, because I really don't want to sell it to nobody from around here. But of course, when people hear that, when they ask me, does it have the flat face couplings on it? I'm like, yeah, but they're 5/8 and they won't fit on they won't fit the skid without, putting the right, couplings on it. And I don't know why Chinese uses 5/8 couplings instead of half or 3/4. I don't know. And the hydraulic guys, they didn't know either. So what else I got? So I'm having a slight problem with the HOA paying me. I invoiced them yesterday, not the HOA, but the management group. And the same, the people that pays, I don't know why they need a management group to pay me. I mean, it seems silly to have a management group, pay the lawn guy, because every time somebody, I just don't understand. And if they had a clubhouse and a big entrance with all this stuff and gate and electric gates to get in and out, and a pool and a tennis court and pickleball court or whatever, I can get it. But there's nothing to manage. I don't know why they need a management group. It's ridiculous. And if you got a management group, they're getting a piece of the pie, and so you're having to pay them in order to write me a check. And that's just but that's how they do it. So I'm sure there's more to it than just that. So I sent the invoice over to the management group yesterday afternoon, and I got a response saying that that email is no longer active, or I got an error. I'm like, what? So I emailed it again, got the same error. So I tried to call the guy, the number that I have for the contact at the management group. I couldn't get nobody on the phone. Said the voicemail was full, blah blah. So I texted, no, nothing. So I reached out to the HOA. He's not the HOA president, but he was at one time. But he's still involved, he's one of the wealthier people over there. His house is bigger and nicer, and the grounds around his house are, really nice. So one of the nicer properties over there. I DM'd him on Facebook, and he came back and said, okay, let me check it out. They changed companies or something. I don't know. A company bought another company out, but all that don't matter to me. I just want to get my check, man. It's only $1,000. So, and it's the last one of the year, and I need to get that money. Because last year I got screwed out of, well, not screwed, I didn't do the work and not get paid, but they didn't want me to come, So, in October. So this year I was going to be proactive and making sure I got that last month. And here I am, the last month, and I'm having a problem getting paid because of their, I fully believe that I'll get paid, but, I don't know when. Y'all know how that goes. So I'm going to have to jump through some hoops. I may just deal directly with the HOA. I'm going to call my other contact at the management group and see if he can, guide me through what I need to do. I was trying not to call him because I didn't want to go over the other dude's head. But I will. Y'all know me. I'll do whatever it takes. So I got a job that a guy, and I put a little clip in the video. I think I put a little clip in the. No, I don't think I did. I can't remember. Where a guy's got a bunch of piles of stuff and debris, and I'm getting messages about that cutter head. I knew I would. But I got I talked to him for about 20 minutes yesterday morning, and he was needing somebody to come over there and break these piles up or whatever, and he wants to burn them. I don't know that burning them is the best thing, because he's in a neighborhood and they're big. It looks pretty big. He's talked to the city and them, and they have told him that he could not burn them in the pile that he has them in now, so he's got to break it up. It just, it goes back to, not being informed. Homeowners and people buying land and they're clearing the land or whatever, them not being informed, it can cost them a lot of money, man. Just like in business, when you start your business out here, there's a lot of things that come up that you pay for that you won't have to pay for as you get more knowledge. And knowledge is king, right? It ain't, with this guy, they had machines out there and everything. He probably could have spent another $400 and had a dumpster loaded or whatever. Instead he's having to hire somebody like me, and I'm going to charge more than $400. You got to seize the moment when there's a machine on at your property. And I contribute that back to just knowing what you're doing when it comes to what you're doing, and not being able to see the future a little bit, or he should have known. If he's going to buy land at $300,000, that, and then he's going to have the land cleared or whatever, that he was trying to save $1 and it's going to end up costing him $5. So I get that part, man. But when it comes to land clearing and construction and all that kind of thing, you gotta have a plan for the plan, because you can easily spend tens of thousands of dollars more than what you anticipated. And Chad over there at Green Acres did really good on clearing his land. I would have never thought that they could clear that land for $22,000 or whatever he paid. That's phenomenal. That land looks great now. See, Chad had a bigger vision than what I couldn't see the vision, because I was thinking, and this is just me, I was thinking that maybe he would cut him a road in there and build him a shop back there, and through the vegetation, and leave some vegetation there. But he clear cut everything, got rid of everything, grubbed everything out. It's actually ready to actually build on. So I gotta believe that he's leaning toward, developing a big piece of it and making money. He's not gonna do it without making money, of course. See, he had the vision. I would have been super scared to do all that, because, well, number one, it costs a lot of money, and I would have been trying to clear it my damn self. That's me. But there's no way that I could have done it like they did it for 20 grand. That's better to me, clearing that much land for that much money, that is a phenomenal price, I think. Y'all see, I get $5,000 for taking out little saplings, and they actually removed all the stumps too. So, but you have to kind of, you got to know what you got to know what you're doing. You got to have a firm foothold in what you're trying to do. And as a viewer of Chad's channel, I didn't really understand what clearing it all out meant. But he got a great deal, I know that, and he'll be able to get, anyway. So yeah, I ordered a couple things. Okay, so y'all know that mulching is really hard on a machine, and I'm not talking about mechanically though. It's it's hard on the machine. My Kubota is really doing really good, and I attribute that to my having really good maintenance on the machine. Also, that's one thing I got to check. Also, not having a great big cutter, and having a little bit of experience on how to run a cutter. Not that a drum mulcher is the same as a rotary cutter, but the concept is the same. You don't want to go down on anything too fast and it stop. You want to always let the inertia, I think that's how you say it, the inertia do the work, and then you back off of it and let the belt or whatever build it back up, and then you do it again. Same concept on the rotary cutters, and I've been using a rotary cutter for years, so I attribute that. And the Kubota 75.3 has a really good hydraulic cooling system, if you will. My guy down here, he says every time he runs his mulcher with his Bobcat, that it runs hot every time. He said that's why he don't even use it, because those guys over at the Bobcat dealer sold him that as a part of a package deal when he bought his Bobcat. I think he got a T870 or T770 or something like that. It's 96 horsepower. But yeah, so I got one guy coming on here saying that I don't really need the kid, and I'm just blowing him off, but I'm not. I'm putting him on skid jobs that he's not even qualified to be on, dude. I'm trying to, and really, well, you have no idea what me and his conversations are and what me and his deal is. So you ought to just pump your brakes a little bit. The last 2 jobs the kid was on, he did not do very good. So what am I supposed to do? Reward bad behavior? Is that what you do? No. You seem to forget, he made it through the summer, but you seem to forget one critical part, man. And that critical part being is I'm paying him. Okay, I'm paying him, and I'm teaching him, and I'm going through a lot with him to show him. Obviously, this time of year, I don't need guys as much as I do in the summertime. Any landscaping company will tell you that. I don't know what to say, but you have no idea what me and his conversations are and what me and his actual deal is between us. Ain't got nothing to do with you. And obviously you don't watch any of the videos because I have boasted on him all summer and going into the fall. So before you come in the comments, saying things outlandish, makes you look stupid, because anybody that's watching the videos knows that whatever you said here is not the truth, right? It's not factual. So you're saying now that they're cooled off, I don't need him. I don't really need them. Who's them? I used Phil yesterday. Phil don't want to work. Cam don't want to work 5 days a week, and Phil can't work 5 days a week. So yeah, I got it, man. I got it. Just pump the brakes, man. He came out through the summer and all that right, me too. And I paid him really good. I paid him for, I paid him experienced money when he had no experience. So, we can't forget the part about him getting paid. You don't come in the comments acting like he came out here and for free. Because I'm paying him a better, $20 an hour, and most of the time more than that. So there's a certain expectation, when that happens. And I've praised him for making it through the heat and making it through the summer. So if you're going to come in the comments and be a Debbie Downer on the other day, when we were doing the leaf cleanups and the lawns, I was explaining exactly what you're not going to have an attitude with me out here. I don't give a damn. I'm not going to have people out here, with all that negativity. I don't have to, And the reason the negativity or the body language or whatever is because he doesn't know what to do. And and I'm trying to teach him. But if I bring Cam out on a skid job and he's telling me he was up half the night and he don't feel good, but he came to work anyway, he's got to know that if you come to work and you don't feel good and it's going to affect your performance, well, don't come to work. That's, just call me and tell me you don't feel good or I can't make it, because I didn't have to have him out there. See, I was stretching to have him come out there because the skid I can make enough money with the skid to overcome his pay and, and get a little bit of help too. So then if you come out here and you get on a skid job and you don't feel good, it happens to be on a Saturday after you got paid on Friday, I get it, you shouldn't have come to work. See, if you're going to want to be going home early and all that, because now or if you're on the job and you don't really want to be there, I don't want no hostages out here. And, Cam's got to learn, just like you had to learn, I hope, and I had to learn, that folks don't give a damn about none of that. Businesses, the working world don't care about if you feel good or not. Whether I feel good or not, that doesn't change anything. That's just noise. After you've done come to work and now you're expecting me to pay you. I said pay you. And now you're going to lay down on me. The hardest part for you was getting to the job or getting to work, and then you get here and now you don't feel good. So you can pay him for that kind of thing. I'm not going to set a precedent where you just come. If you don't feel good, don't come to work. If you can't do the job, then don't come to work. Just tell me. Be grown and just tell me you don't feel good and you can't make it. And then I can move things around a little bit or whatever. But he knew on Friday that I was going to have him come work on Saturday, and I was going to pay him extra money because it's a skid job, and I was going to expect him to work about 4.5, 5 hours. And I was going to give him $120. These are things that you probably don't know nothing about, that you don't know. So just want to throw that out there. And if you look at the videos, I have given him kudos more than I have anybody else ever, except for maybe Phil, because Phil's great. You got to understand before you make a bold comment. And I don't mind you making the bold comment if it's factual. I mean, I just don't like wasting time with a comment that, like I am right now, with a comment that's not coming from an educated place. You're not, you haven't, you don't know, well, you don't know what you don't know, man. So, but guys are not going to come out here and me pay them and them lay down on me, you know. And the expectations during the summer was 3 days a week. And that's because, you know, the other 2 days a week, he was having problems because he's young and it was hot out here. And you got to get used to it. So instead of me just letting him go, I thought enough of the young man to let him get in 3 days a week. I did him a solid, okay? Because contrary to what you may think, I've been doing this a long time. And I somehow, some way, I have made it through every single summer out here for ever since 2007. So you do the math, whatever that is. I haven't worked for the man since 2006. So I've been out here since then. So, and do you know how many guys I've had out here with me? Right. And you don't know the little things that I helped the young man out with either. Well, but yeah, I mean, you know, it's just, I don't know, it's like, just dumb shit, man. I mean, come on, dude. This time of year, you don't need labor as much. That's a fact. When Cam came on and Phil came on in May and April and May, they knew that. That's why I had 2 guys, because it's hot out here, and Phil has, you know, is going to school to be a pilot, and Cam is a teenager. So, I mean, that is basically the tale of the tape. You know, every year it's the same thing. I told Cam that he'd get through the summer, that I would get him a couple of days a week. He's getting 3 days a week during the summer. I was going to try to get him 2 days a week during the winter, during the fall. And guess what, buddy? I have done just that. He's gotten 2 or 3 days a week ever since July. since I had to make the move, because he couldn't get here 5 days a week and be productive, so I moved him to 3 days a week. And he's been getting 2 and 3 days a week. He got 3 days a week all the way up until, you know, September, beginning of October, and he could get 2 or 3 days a week now. But if he shows up to a job he don't feel good, he told me, he said he don't feel good, he'll let me know when he feels better. Okay, so I had to wait on him to let me know that he feels better. And that was 5 days that he didn't work. And, you know, I didn't hear from him until the day before he came back to work again, which was the other day. So, you know, you gotta, yeah, man.